Hello there.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Sky Guys podcast. 2025 coming to an end, our last podcast of the year in review, where we go back and cover all the Star Wars content from 2025, a little bit of 2024 too, thanks to the weird skeleton crew schedule. My host, Mike Phillips, changing it up this week. Starting off, we're with the great Nick Fraietta is with us here. Nick, how are you?
Doing great. It was a great year. It was actually a really good year for Star Wars too. It didn't seem like it. If you just think like 2025 was it good for Star Wars, at first you'd say no, but it actually was. It was a great year for Star Wars, and excited to talk about it.
Yep, and with us as always, Pete Consadori is here. Pete, how are you?
Doing good. Yeah, excited to discuss the we're officially calling it the year in review, right? Or
Yep,
years in review. So yeah, definitely excited to talk about it. Like Nick said, pretty good year for Star Wars, and I think we all share that sentiment. So
yep, we'll see.
excited to talk about it.
Yep, we will be excited to talk about your Nick. I mean, we'll start with you. People want to follow us on social media. How can they do that?
You can follow at Sky Guys Podcast all over social media, and you can email the pod at skyguyspod@gmail.com.
Yep, I'll go our social media comment of the week here before I go to Pete, tell you how to subscribe. This is actually from Instagram. Man. We got an Instagram comment on here this week. So this is where we talk about the nodding gag on Return of the Jedi parody here from yladkins.12. This is Peak about the Family Guy Return of the Jedi nodding gag. So he agree. This is a peak cinema for this guy.
Pete, unfortunately, was not here to discuss that with us. Was he? Right?
No, he
You were
was
not.
not here,
No, no, that wasn't me.
but he's seen the clip.
Of course, yeah.
Everybody's seen the clip. It is
Yeah.
peaks. It is peak cinema. And Pete, since you missed that week episode, you want to help us out here. Also, tell people how they can subscribe to the podcast. You get into 2026.
Yeah, so Google Play, Apple Store, just everywhere. Subscribe, Spotify. If you're with us all year, you probably should have got that Spotify Wrapped. Share with us where we were in your rankings, if we were top five or not. But yeah, we're pretty much everywhere, and you can email the pod as Nick said too. So make sure you subscribe because it helps us immensely, and it helps you guys to get some good content.
Yep. Let's go to our Star Wars news here. And Nick, I think we gotta go to the video game awards. There was a lot of stuff that came out of there.
Yeah, the Game Awards were last. Well, this let's just say this based on when release dates are with recording. But the Game Awards were December 11th, Thursday night, and there were two big Star Wars announcements. The first one was The Fate of the Old Republic. Seems to be an action RPG set in the Old Republic timeline, made by a new studio from the original director of the original KOTOR games. There was a lot of speculation that the game wouldn't come out until 2030 because they said the studio literally just formed. But the game director, Casey Hudson, said on X that he will make sure the game is out before then, encouraging fans to not worry, it will be out before 2030. That's what he said.
Yeah. So I'll go to you guys here. Obviously, you are not for the KOTOR space here. Thoughts on what we saw from the footage trailer we got at the Game Awards, Pete?
Can I be honest with you?
Yep.
You didn't watch it.
Didn't watch any of the Game Awards.
Yep.
I, it
It
just it
wasn't. It
just
wasn't a
it just
trailer.
fell off my bandwidth. I know they happened, and we
Yep.
talked about it off air, but like I can't even tell you what the trailer was.
Yeah.
No,
It
there was really no trailer. I mean, like it was a trailer. Don't get me wrong, but it was.
was cinema footage.
I don't think. Yeah, none of it was in-game footage. It was just a ship on a planet, someone walking. Like, it was a little cool. It was just like cool Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. In that old
We get
Republic
nothing
era.
out of it.
Yeah, so excited though because like this guy was responsible for the original KOTOR game. He was not part of the KOTOR 2 development here. Like obviously a long way before we see this game because I know they just started working on it this year. But like if this does come out here, this is like number one on my upcoming game list. That includes ahead of the Cal Kestis trilogy completion.
I think it would be for me too, even as someone who didn't play KOTOR.
Yeah, I think that's certainly worth watching here. What else we got from the Game Awards?
Well, there was another game announced later on in the show, Star Wars Galactic Racer coming in next year to Xbox, PC, and PS5. It was a racing game set in the post Return of the Jedi timeline.
I think
Like, let me rephrase, like to be more clear, it wasn't pod racing; it was legit racing.
yeah. And we saw like there's Jakku in the game, so this is in we're going to Jakku in that game.
It's a Bobo is there.
Yeah, Old Man Savola.
Yeah, I think it was him. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was him. They confirmed it was him.
so it's the Boba post Return of the Jedi and Jakku and just racing, not necessarily pod racing. There were some ships and speeders and all that. So it's seems like a little fun racing game.
Pete, will you be checking this game out?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think they did that timeline so they can get Mandalorian in there. I think that's, get a little Razor Crest action, but it seems intriguing. Probably an on sale pickup. I don't know if I'm paying full price when it comes out, but it's intriguing for sure.
Yeah, you wait for that $20 off discount around the holidays.
Yeah, even more,
Yeah.
stuff like
This
that.
seems
So
like a game that very soon after release is going to end up on PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live as part of just the game catalog, and it's just going to be free. So
All
I'll
right.
play it then.
All right. That's it for the news, right?
Yep.
All right, let's get to the year in review here. We're covering like basically the shows that came out this year and some other stuff we did on the podcast here. So let's go chronologically through here. So do you want to start? Let's start with Skeleton Crew, which finished 2024, began 2025. We had the weird thing we were recording on Christmas, around Christmas and New Year's last year. Thankfully, Star Wars did not do it to us this year, but I would say, Pete, Skeleton Crew was a pleasant surprise for us because I think we all went in with the bar very low.
yeah, and I also think just from what we saw with the trailers, it didn't seem too outlandish that we would enjoy it. I think we've learned as a group to take a lot of things with a grain of salt when it comes to Star Wars content, what will be coming out, if it will be coming out. But yeah, like you said, it was a pleasant surprise. Fun for the whole family kind of show. And, it had that weird release schedule with the holidays, which we thought maybe would make it maybe flop a little bit. But, to our surprise, I think it did very well amongst the fan base.
Nick, what do you think about Skeleton Crew? Going back.
Yeah, I mean I agree. I mean they're not doing that release to us this year, but Stranger Things is instead. So someone's making us watch stuff during the holidays. But although I kind of think it kind of makes sense actually to have it during the holidays. But that's not the point. We're not here to talk about Stranger Things. But Skeleton Crew was like really surprising. It was a good show. I really urge people who haven't seen it to give it a chance and to enjoy it because I think they will. It hits in all the right spots in Star Wars. I think there's a lot of magic, if you will. There's children in the show, which I think initially turned people off from the show, but they really do not take away from the show whatsoever. It's not like a kiddie show, I think, in any by any means. I think it's a family fun type of show, and I guess technically it's in the Mandoverse. There's some connections there, not really many, but I really enjoyed it. And looking back, I mean, if you told me that, I know we did this a couple weeks ago with how many live action shows there were, but if you told me there were nine, I'd probably put this at like number four. Like it's towards the top.
Yeah, it is towards the top here, and I will throw out here, Pete, that like this is not like I know those Stranger Things comp is also made for the show. This is not Stranger Things by any means. This feels more like the Goonies set in Star Wars.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, this is definitely a what I'll call light watch. I mean, there's some aspects to it that makes you you know, your brain feel a little bit challenged. But I mean, Nick, I think this is a very light watch and I think that this was the perfect show for the holiday season, right? I don't think you're putting a heavier show like I mean, we're seeing Stranger Things, but you're not putting a heavier show, especially Disney Plus Star Wars wise, like Mandalorian or stuff like that.
Yeah, and it works for Stranger Things to do like a heavy type of release around then because it just works. I don't because of the binge model, I think it works where this is a weekly show. I don't think it works around that time of year being one here, one there, whereas the binge, it actually seems like it would be the opposite. You would think it's only one episode, it's Christmas, no big deal. I can squeeze 20 minutes in, 40 minutes in. But you would think like I can't squeeze in five episodes, but I think it makes more sense because what Netflix has done with their release on Stranger Things has been to put out these seasons or these like not seasons, but parts of the season, I guess you can call them, all during some sort of break. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's to give you time to binge it. So it's not like it comes out on a random Friday. If I'm busy
Sure.
that weekend, I can't see it.
Yeah.
But so I think that works better for them and Skeleton Crew. that wasn't the case. It was a weekly show, and I think it didn't really work in that sense. The show worked. I don't think the release worked.
Yeah, I'm not sure it worked either. I mean, you couldn't drop like Andor on the holidays, for example. It's a very heavy lift to like be coming around family. Oh, we're gonna watch a massacre of like people on Gorman. I don't think that would have played as well, like if you did a release like that. But I also will throw out here, we do have a good clip from the pod when we did the Andor series review. P actually missed this pod. Nick D'Alessio stepped in here, so let's just talk about why we think one reason we thought the show worked. The story was self-contained. That really enhanced the legacy. So I think this will add to that conversation. So we'll go ahead and play that clip now from our series review for Skeleton Crew. Remember, for the YouTube viewers, this is when Nick was going through his pirate phase.
But something I thought about that I think this show really benefited from was the fact that you keep hearing that people say, and I agree, that we want Star Wars to go away from the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
And this show was like the perfect happy medium where it was its own thing, and you really was really separated from the rest of the galaxy, but it was also still part of the main saga in that we know it takes place at the same time as Mandalorian and Grogu. There's one or two people from Mando who show up, not really though, like the pirate vein and the Hutt. And this might be the perfect happy medium where you're not really involved in the universe because like what happens in this show maybe will impact what happens in the Mandalorian eventual team up movie that Filoni's directing. Probably not though. But even if it doesn't, you're far enough away from the rest of the galaxy that this little story does feel unique and original.
Yeah, it does help because Nick D, I mean, to Nick's point, I feel like in terms of connecting to like the story going forward here, I mean, maybe Mando visits at some point in the future. Maybe these kids like pop up for a scene or there, but like it's a story that can exist on its own without needing the Mandalorian or
Right.
Ahsoka or 75 Rebels characters to make it interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's where Disney Star Wars era kind of thrives in that like it's in the same universe, but it's its own story, not connected to anything. I feel like when they try to extend the canon or change some things around in the past, that's where they start getting into trouble. But having a story just in the universe, separated from everything, open-ended enough that it could tie back later on if you needed to, but it doesn't have to. That's like I think that's where they thrive, and I think this show shows that.
Yeah, so Pete, any thoughts on that commentary? 'Cause you were not here for it.
I mean, I do like the connection with Mando. I think that it's definitely a possibility and opens a lot of doors. And we've discussed it too. I mean, I think we discussed it at the end of our season recap for that, is that it definitely, being in this timeline opens up a lot of doors for the Filoni movie, like Nick was saying, or even just visiting that planet or finding that planet. So I think that's the angle that I think I take the most from the show as well. And I think both Nicks were spot on.
Yeah. I'll also throw in here the MVP board for Skeleton Crew since we have it. So I'll throw it up here to remind everybody what we thought of the characters on the show. So our MVP obviously was Jod and all of his aliases was +9. And then Neil, Fern, and KB were the the rest of the top three because Fern and KB tied for third. And our bottom three were SM-33, the droid, Hana's dad, and Brutus, the pirate leader. So I do think that's the story on the Skeleton Crew characters.
Looking back, I remember each of these characters being good or bad. So good. Sounds good.
I also love that Pete came up with it called the supervisor of the Star Wars Carousel of Progress.
I went on the Carousel of Progress when I was in Disney by myself, and everyone in there was sleeping except me.
Sounds
That's what
about
it's for. That's what it's for. It's a 20-minute nap.
yeah, in air conditioning.
Not for me though.
Yeah,
It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Now it's gonna be stuck in your head.
yeah. All right, so let's. Anything else you want to say on Skeleton before we go down to Andor?
One thing I think that the release date hurt the show. I think that I don't know the numbers. We could look into it in terms of how many people watched it and whatnot. I bet you if they released it 3 weeks later than they did, they would have did a lot better.
You think if this came out like January 8th, it ran through February? I think it would have been better off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the holidays did hurt the momentum of the show because like it's very tough when you, especially when you're committed to 9 p.m. drops on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Not many people are watching it like live
I can't believe they did those actual days too. Like, I get it if it's in the holidays, but I can't believe they didn't push it like 2 days back or something.
or up a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're committed.
Yep.
All right, let's go on to Andor 2. We've said a lot about Andor 2 on the podcast this year. It probably was our favorite release of the year in terms of content quality wise. So, anybody want to start us off with Andor thoughts?
You said favorite release of the year. I'm going to extend that to favorite release of the decade, actually, probably the century, probably ever. But I don't know what else there is to say that we haven't said.
Yeah, I think this is just for me. The bar was set high with Andor 1. They cleared it with Andor 2. That's an impressive feat in itself. And it's amazing that, like, when we knew the ending of where these characters are going to end up, we know where Cassian goes, we know where Mon Mothma goes. We still have these compelling moments throughout the season that involve both of them and the characters we grew to love over the last 2 seasons.
I mean, I think it's perfection.
Yeah.
It's just really good. I mean, I wish that, I mean, because the other Star Wars shows we've seen, the content, the ideas are great. If it just was in the same quality and the same production effort, I'll call it, as Andor, I feel like we'd just be getting banger after banger show. And this was just perfection, in my opinion, all around. 2 seasons, you don't need any more, even though you know what's going to happen. It doesn't delegitimize what happens in between. So yeah, it's a very good show.
How was the budget for Andor? I have no idea. Is it higher than most shows?
Yeah, it was the highest, I think, for any Disney Star Wars property at this point.
I guess it's correlated, huh?
I'd say the word Pete looking for is like the amount of care that was put into this show. I think like was not given to everything else that Disney's done.
And not to say anything poorly about the other shows. This show I feel like was unique because I don't think we discussed what the not to say the actors and actresses weren't doing anything else. I feel like they were also committed. It wasn't like a Pedro Pascal thing where he was doing 16 other movies at the time and you had to kind of like fight for him and stuff. Like I feel like they had all the actors and actresses, they had the budget, they had everything they needed, and they were all committed the entire way. And I think that speaks volumes to it. I mean, season 1, 2 of Mando do a lot better than season 3, and you can kind of tell why.
Yeah, it's more of a passion project for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk about the fun clip I'll go to here is that we talk about the legacy of Andor on our series and review, and we had the great Mimo. He joined us for that conversation. So I'll play this clip for the audience here from that conversation after we wrapped up our Andor coverage, the legacy of what Andor could be for the show. So let's hear what everybody had to say.
So I think the legacy is not only it being a great show, but it should be quote unquote copied, right? How they did it moving forward for Star Wars, Marvel, whatever their properties are. This was written correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pete's on something here. I think obviously the writing, I think the bar needs to be higher for the stuff we get here. No one's saying is every Star Wars property needs to be like a prestige TV event like this was, but like if you take away, we can write better. We don't need to throw in jingle keys every chance we get. We don't need to have like this random guy we saw in one comic book be like a focal character for episodes. I think if we do that and have that enhance the quality of other Star Wars we're getting, I think it'll be a big service to the franchise as a whole.
Yeah, I like. Do I think this is I can't even talk. The most well-written Star Wars show or movie we've gotten? Yes. Do I think it's the best well-written it's hard to say. Like it's not the best Star Wars show in my opinion because it's not inherently Star Wars-y, right? Like you have all the original movies with George. They're more Star Wars-esque, right? You have lightsabers, you have the whole thing. But do I think Andor season 2 is the most well written overall? Yes, but I don't think it's the best that doesn't mean it's the best Star Wars like show or movie to me. But I worry about how slow it is. That's like the main complaint I get is slowness, and I worry that the legacy of it is that it's a slow paced show. Because that's most of the comments I have is like we just can't get through the first like 4 episodes, I'm just like, I'm struggling. I'm like, is it worth it? Like I get comments all the time like, hey, is it worth it? Should I continue? I'm like, yes, you got to get to it. It's like the most on-screen deaths I've ever seen in Star Wars. Like you got to like you got to get to the thing. But I'm very happy with it, and the writing stellar. I think with the success of this, hopefully Disney takes this and like, hey, this is what people want, and they can continue with that and make more like in-depth storylines like this.
I don't know what it's going to be, the legacy, but I hope the legacy is that we can look back and say, this is when Star Wars figured it out.
So, Nick, you want to expand on your commentary there at the end?
What I wanted to say is, what I was getting at was this is hopefully we look back at Andor season 2 and say this is when they figured out how to make the best show that they could, how to use their resources properly, how to make the best show. And I guess it's not fair to say they haven't yet. We haven't really seen a show yet, so it's still possible that's the case. We'll see when we get. I don't even know because I want to say we'll see when we get Ahsoka season 2 because it's our next live action show. But it's kind of season 2. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they're going to revamp how they made the entire show. It's going to continue Ahsoka season 1. So until we get a new live action television show, which really hasn't really been announced yet, then we'll know.
I think the thing I'd be watching more for is Starfighter. I feel like Starfighter is the one that went production
Could be.
after Andor came out. And I think a lot of the lessons from Andor have been applied to Starfighter from what we've seen.
Yeah, it's fair.
All right, so let's go a couple of things here on the notes. I'm saving all the episode rankings for the end, so I'll give you the Andor MVP board. So for Andor 2, we had here, we didn't do this yet, we're short on time that episode. The top 3 for the season, Cassian at +8, Bix at +6, and Clea at +4. The bottom 3, a tie for 13, Bale's extraction team and the ISB as a whole from the series, the Gorn Front and Lieutenant Kroll. So those,
I don't even remember Kroll.
I believe he was the one that I think was.
I'm looking at pictures of him. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
it's very obvious why he's there.
yes. Okay, I remember him now.
I think we all added extra points to Kroll at the end of the series.
Yeah, well, love it. Looks fantastic. This looks great.
Yeah, so that's the list for the season 2. I have a quick look at the overall series history as well. And important to note for that series, Pete, that Clea was was not even on the board in season 1. And we will look at the overall board here. Like she ends up like top 4 on the show, which is impressive.
I mean, she had a strong season 2.
Yeah.
Very strong season 2. And I think that's what we wanted out of that character too.
Yeah. Yeah, so the overall of the top 3 was Cassian +17, Bix and Mon Mothma +6, Luthen and Clea tied for 4th at +4th, Saw Gerrera. Then the bottom 3, Perrin -5, Lieutenant Kroll we just mentioned, and Karn at -9.
Karn deserves better than that.
Karn was on the way up, and then he, decided to, do bad things in his death episode.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I remember I gave Karn an MVP point this season.
You know what it is? It's like maybe Karn did suck, but Kyle Solar knocked it out of the park that I didn't want to make him. I didn't want to make him lose points because it was so well acted. But maybe the character did kind of suck.
The character sucked, but he did a good job, like giving you dimensions to that character.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add on Andor before we start hitting other things?
No, the other thing should be faster.
I would agree. Tales of the Underworld. We were down on it when we came out. Any change?
I'm not down on it. I'm in the middle. It was better than the other one. It was better than Tales of the
I think
Empire.
the correction I think would be we were down on the Ventress story.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Cad Bane
and
is
the
what
other
saved
story
it.
was cool. The Cad Bane story was nice. The other one was kind of below average. Nothing's really changed in that front. I will say this though. If you just keep giving me Tales series or whatever you want to call them, seasons, I just gotta call them seasons. I know that they're not technically seasons, but I'm all in. I would love to just see more of these. Even if you give me ones like Ventress, I just want to keep seeing them. I think they add value. They don't hurt. You pick the wrong character, I'm not interested, but it doesn't hurt.
They certainly don't hurt, and I think they're going to keep doing these because again, it's like a quick content pop. It's if you need something on May 4th, you could put one of these out. You have, a lot of characters that you're not going to put into full shows or do stuff on them. You can explore their stories more here. I made the Lost comparison before to the Lost Missing Pieces, which were like basically bonus episodes where they filled in stuff that would not fit in the main show. Like you want to view it like that, I think that's fine. I just don't think that you should walk into the Tales anymore expecting like earth-shattering stuff like you got with Dooku in season one.
It's fair.
Because
I agree with that.
Dooku, I think by far was the highlight of the Tales franchise.
I think Cad Bane was very good too. I
You
mean,
say,
it's maybe not as flashy, but I think the Cad Bane Tales 3 episode, whatever it was, 4 episode thing was very good as well.
yeah, Nick, would you think that like basically anybody other than Dooku exceed the Cad Bane story?
The Ahsoka one was good.
I think it's on par with the Ahsoka one.
Yeah, the Ahsoka one's really good. The first episode of the Ahsoka one I didn't like, but the other two were great.
You were not a fan of Baby Ahsoka?
No, I don't really care for it. I also don't like how they did them in the order they did. I feel like they were trying to go chronological when they should have just went by character, but neither here nor there. That's for season one talk. Um, but overall, the tales, I think you have the Dooku in its own tier, then you have Ahsoka and the Bane in another tier, and then no,
The other three are
and I
down.
plead the fifth.
Yeah. The other three are below that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on to. We also had Visions Volume 3 come out. We were very not thrilled with the choices to do sequels to stuff that came out 4 years ago. We're getting a continuation here with Ninth Jedi continuing next year in its own limited series. So we watched about a month ago. Have your thoughts changed since we last talked about it?
Nope.
Nope.
Again, we just talked about this podcast, so it's very fresh in our mind. So we have a full hour out there on Visions 3 if you want to check that out. But like, just wanted to throw it out there because it is something that did come from this year. We are getting more from what it sounds like.
Yeah, and like I said, same with Visions. Same with Tales. I'm totally in for more. Just give me more. I don't think it hurts in any way. I'm always down to watch. Some of the stories are really cool, and I'm interested.
Yeah, I didn't include Lego Star Wars in here because Pete and I just talked about it 2 weeks ago. So this is very fresh for the audience.
Yeah, I watched like 3 minutes of it.
Yeah, and Nick saw a snippet.
I'm out on the Lego stuff.
Yeah, that was
I
fun.
like the Lego video games, but I'm out on the Lego stuff.
Pete and I like that more than Visions.
Yep.
I
I would
did
agree with
not
that.
finish Lego the Skywalker Saga though. Started playing the games in chronological order, and I finished Return of the Jedi, and then it's like, do you want to start The Force Awakens? And I was like, nah, and I deleted the game.
Yeah, so I think let's go on to a couple other things we did this year that are now we covered all the new content. We went back to Mando 1. We never watched Mando 1 episodically as a podcast. We went back and rewatched it here. So Nick, you think this is your big idea. Like, why do you think this was helpful for us for getting ready for the movie?
Because we need to watch all of the Mando stuff.
Yeah.
And this is where it started. I think we should go back. We watch one, like we did. We're gonna, excuse me, we're gonna watch two. We're gonna sprinkle in some of three and what we did with Boba Fett and see where he was at the time. And we're gonna bring ourselves right to the movie, which, by the way, is 5 months. Um, like Super Bowl trailer.
I don't think so.
Well, anywho, whenever tickets go on sale, not that long from now. I mean, not like in the next couple of weeks or anything, but like pretty in the foreseeable future, we'll be buying tickets for the movie. I'm assuming we're going together.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yep, and gonna be awesome. Let's go. We're not gonna say the name out loud, but let's go where Pete lives.
Yeah, we'll meet in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Pete, the Mando 1 like exercise, I think that was fun because like we forgot like how good some of the early Mando was.
Yeah, I mean, you know, my thoughts of Mando 1 have changed a little bit as you've heard and we've talked about, and make sure you go check out the episodes for Mando season 1, and also our State of the Brand episode that came out. But it's really good that we decided to revisit this as a group, versus just having that kind of floating in the ether, and we never really discussed it. Brings out perspective for both you and Nick that I've never heard before, and it changed my mind on a couple of things too.
Justice for episode 6.
yeah. Oh, it changed my mind. And so many. I remember I said that when I originally watched the season, episode 5 was my favorite one.
I'm glad you brought up episode 5 because I do have a video clip about when we went
Yeah, I
back.
think it's my least favorite one. I just love being on Tatooine, but I think the episode sucks.
Yeah, I'm going to share a clip from that episode. We had the great Chris Persianen came on with us, talked about that episode. talk about our one of our least favorite characters of all time, Toro Calican. So that was a fun conversation. Let's check that out. I have to say, great acting, Jake Cannavale, but the character Nick is such a little shit that like you just like are so happy when Mando shoots him dead at the end of the episode.
I think that they did a great job at writing that character. That's exactly what they were going for, right? Someone that we could all collectively want to punch in the face.
Yep.
And essentially, at the end, you kind of see that, or not really, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
And I think it's meant for that. It's someone to root against, and they did a great job with it. A bit, great job on the performance and the acting, because I wanted to punch him, and I'm sure you did too. And yeah, but in terms of just the character being punchable, completely agreed.
Yeah, P, is this the first Star Wars Depot baby, Toro Calican?
I don't know, is it?
He feels like one. Because he's like, he doesn't even care about the money when he's doing the job. He's like, I just want to be in the guild. Like, you can have the money. I don't need the money.
You know, I kind of take his character as someone trying to make a name for himself in a post-Empire world. So he was annoying, but if Mando did the same exact storyline, I don't think anyone would be complaining. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I understand why the character was written that way. Yeah, he's made to be annoying, but like Mando does the same exact thing. No one's complaining, you know?
Yeah, Chris, any big thoughts on Toro?
Fun heel.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely echo Nick's sentiment that like they did a good job. Like the annoyance is the result of a job well done. Um, I would also say that I liked that he made the decision to just shoot Fennec. Like, I thought that was well written for his character.
Yeah, so I think fun to revisit probably the most memorable episode of Mando 1. Is that Toro Calican was definitely like a fun like heel like character you want to hate. And he got to come up in the episode.
Mike, is that the same shirt?
Maybe.
I don't know. I saw green and green.
I think we're like a
Depends.
darker green.
Every single time.
Different green.
Yeah, a lot of green.
I wear the
What was
same
your
shirt
what was your
every
original
single
question?
time.
Like talk about Toro Calican being like the heel of that episode, getting his comeuppance at the end.
Yeah, I still back what I feel. I think it's like more so annoying, right? You hate the character, but like it's very comical if you put Mando in that situation or a different character that is beloved in Star Wars. It's kind of like, oh yeah, great, this is awesome. He's like, oh, he's a badass. He shot Fennec. Like I feel like it's forced villainism, if that's a term. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm tired. We'll rock with it. We'll rock with it.
All right. Do you want to see the long anticipated Mando 1 MVP board? We never showed it during the season.
Sure.
All right. So this is the board for Mando season 1. We were rating throughout. We didn't have a wrap up show. So we saved for the year review. So here we are. Our MVP season 1, Mando +6 is not surprising. Queel +4. Pelimato +3 surprised me, Nick.
I came around to Pelimato in that episode. I'm a big fan now.
Yeah. The Covert and IG-11 +2, Paz Vizsla, Grogu, Cara Dune, Omira, and Moff Gideon +1s. Negatives, the Mythrol, the Walker pilot from Sanctuary, Dave Filoni took a stray, Berg, Ran, the prison droids from that episode, Team Ran, Doc Beck, all negative ones. Dr. Pershing, the Guild, and Toro Calican got -2, along with the Scout Troopers of finale. Great Car got -3, and the Jawas in episode 2 were the LVPs of the season at -4.
Unfortunately, we will not be seeing Grief Karga anymore.
We don't think so.
No, I doubt it very much.
Like, yeah, I don't think there's be a recast calling for him.
No, rest in peace to Carl Weathers.
Yep. So we'll see where he pops up in. We'll do the episode rankings in May. One other thing I want to touch on here is that we did the KOTOR coverage this year, which is a lot of fun, and you guys missed out on that. Nick Alessio and Max Roberts stepped in here for a few weeks to cover that one here. We think very fun going through the game. Some of our favorite episodes here. I do have one absurd clip I want to show you guys from the KOTOR. It's not going to spoil anything of note. We talk about one of the most infamous side quests in Star Wars history. So I'll let you play. I'll play this for you guys. Let you react to it. So this is from I think early in the game when you're on Dantooine. So we'll play this clip.
Yeah, so when you leave the Jedi Temple, you encounter this woman, Elise, and she's like, "My husband built this droid for me. My husband's gone now. The droid ran off. Can you go recover it for me?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds innocent enough." You encounter this droid, later on in Dantooine, and it's being attacked by these, I think they're called craft hounds. They're like the dog-looking things, right?
Yep, the wolf
Um,
basically.
yeah. And you save the droid thinking, oh, you're doing a good deed. The droid's like, no, I was trying to die because my human companion is using me for like it's a sex droid. And I think that her relying on me so much is alienating her from making like getting out there and meeting other humans. So I'm trying to kill myself to help her. And you have to decide whether to kill the droid or to save the droid and bring it back to the owner, which is what I did. And if you do that, then later on, if you go into the Jedi Temple into like one of the back rooms, you can like see her in the droid. Like, I mean, you don't actually see it, but like it's implied that they were like doing it in that room. It's hysterical.
Yeah, I was also on the direction of like I did convince them to go back. I did find them later, like, oh, this is a very funny thing that stuck into a video game in 2003. Nick, what was your experience with this quest?
So I found, well, obviously I made fun of her for, as much as I possibly could. Enough to get some dark side point. My dark side at the end of both of these planets, it doesn't get any lower right now. I'm like as evil as it can be. So I made fun of her for being so obsessed with the robot. I found the robot, um, told him that I'm going to kill you, but I'm also going to tell the lady that you're still alive and send her out here to look for you. So then I did that. And then when I went back to the lady, she was kind of like, she was so upset that the robot was dead. She just kind of ran away into the embassy thing. And then she meets a new guy immediately. She's like, in my sadness, I found this guy and I love him now and we're going to be happy. And I was just like, okay, cool. Money, please. I was like, you owe me money. And then I like forced her to pay me and got more dark side points.
Yeah, P. I saw you laughing like the entire time through this clip.
I just it's funny. I don't know if that's funnier than what we encountered in Jedi Survivor. Survivor, not Fallen Order. Which was the one with the oh my God. It was like the clone or the trooper that was like supposed to be like this like insanely hard thing, and then you just like hit him once and he's dead.
Oh, wait, that was Survivor.
That was Survivor. I forgot that Bob
Yeah,
was it
Oh,
something Bob?
Rick the door. It
Elevator Bob?
was Rick the door.
Rick the door
Rick
technician.
the door technician. I don't know why I said elevator Bob. It's now elevator Bob. Yeah, I think that's probably funnier, but like that's just the fact that the developers took time to make a mission about a sex droid, top notch content. That's hysterical.
Nick, same developer, is making Fate of the Old Republic.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. As you know, I didn't play KOTOR, but still excited.
Yeah, this is one of the funniest like side quests in that entire game. So I think like if you ever play it, like have fun when you get there because like Alessia was doing Dark Side run through on that one, and like
I will play if the remake actually sees the light of day. I'll play it there. I just can't play the original. It's too outdated for me.
yep. So I shout out to them here. You guys love the KOTOR coverage when we sell KOTOR 2 coming some point in the future, depending on the calendar. So we'll keep an eye on that. Wrap things up here. Some episode ratings. So I'll give you the which one do you want first? You want Skeleton Crew, Andor, or Mando 1?
Let's go in order. Let's do Skeleton Crew.
All right, Skeleton Crew episode rankings. We covered these in January. Maybe it was January or February we did this, but I'll throw it up here again to remind everybody. Top episode was the finale, The Real Good Guys, 9.33. Goes all the way down to This Could Be a Real Adventure. The premiere 6.5. Takeaway here: every episode of Skeleton Crew rated at least above average.
You can see a little bit of a trend as the show goes on. It gets a little better. You have the first three of the first four episodes as the bottom of three
Yeah.
in the show. But even then, they're all like 6.5, 7 for the most part. So, just pretty good.
Yeah, P. I think satisfied is the right way I'll put it here.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Next up here, we'll go to Andor 2 episode rankings. We covered this in detail, so I'll be quick on this one as well. Very interesting on this one. We obviously very high on this. We had multiple tens in there. The two that won the best episode bracket were straight tens from us here. We had 8 episodes, 9 or higher. Our lowest rated episode was episode 4, which is 8.17, which is tells you the quality we saw every week.
Uh, Kind of like when you look at this and your 12 episodes, 8, 9, 11, 12 are your top four, and
Yeah,
that's episode 10 right there too. So like
they finished.
this thing ends with an unbelievable bang. The last 5 episodes are near perfect.
They stuck the landing.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's that one. The longest fading Mando 1 board. So that one we did not reveal in the real time. So we'll do that really quickly here.
I did miss 2 of these, I think. I think I missed 6 and 7.
Yeah, I think you did. So we'll go ahead and throw this one up here. So our rankings for season 1 of Mando. Chapter 8 Redemption was number 1, 8.83. Chapter 7 The Reckoning, 8.67 was number 2. Chapter 1 The Mandalorian, 8.33. Chapter 3 The Sin, 8. Chapter 6 The Prisoner, 7.13. Chapter 2 The Child, 6.87. Number 7, Chapter 4 Sanctuary, somehow made our bracket, 6.17. And off a cliff, The Gunslinger, Chapter 5, 3.75.
Somehow the Sanctuary made the bracket.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even make the bracket for Mando's season 1 episodes. If a 16 bracket, it wouldn't even make it.
We didn't make the bracket, though. Remember
No,
that?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I think we all learned, Pete, that The Gunslinger was a very bad episode of television.
That's what I'm saying. You go back to season 1 and like you have 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes below an 8, which fine. You know, the prisoner's 7.13, but you have 687, 617, and 375. Outrageous. Outrageous. And
Funny
outrageous in the
because
sense of like that they deserve that score. It's outrageous that that's a thing.
it's funny because going into it, that was my favorite episode, 5.
Yeah, because
But
nostalgic levels.
yeah, that's pretty much it. It was just because I saw Tatooine and I saw Mos Eisley, and I was like, "This is so cool."
Yeah,
But the episode sucked.
it did suck. So that's a good place to leave it this year. Quick look ahead to next year. Obviously, we got some good content coming. We have Maul Shadow Lord coming at some point. We have the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is the headline of the year. Ahsoka season 2, probably the back half of the year. What was looking forward to for 2026 in Star Wars, guys?
I'm most looking forward to the movie.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for all of these projects, but the movie, just because it's our return to theaters, and I'm very skeptical, but if they stick to landing, could be great news for us Star Wars fans.
Yeah, P, I think the big takeaway for me is like, yes, Ahsoka season 2, we love 1. We're excited for 2. Maul Shadow Lord is intriguing, but we have not been able to go to a theater and watch a Star Wars movie since 2019. We're going to do that in May.
I mean, my hot take is this movie is going to be mid. It's going to be mid, and I hate to say that because I want it to be good. If it's
I don't think
good,
that's
I
a hot
will.
take at all.
I don't either.
will-
I think Darren's with you on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will 100% come on this podcast and say, guys, I was wrong. That was a fantastic movie. I think this movie is going to be very mid, and I'm not going to say not excited to go with you guys and go see Star Wars because I'm excited about that. The content, I'm not so much. I am excited for Ahsoka season 2. That's my show. I've said in the past that's better than The Mandalorian. And I think season 2 is going to have a lot of good stuff. We set up a lot of good different storylines and a lot of good things in season 1 that I feel like we can capitalize or excuse me, Disney can capitalize in season 2. Let's hope they execute.
Yeah, we can hope they execute here. That's it for us this week here and in 2026. Next week, we're going to do a little palate cleanser before we guide full on to Mandalorian. We're going to do abandoned Star Wars characters. We clear our abandoned projects trilogy. We did abandoned projects in 2024. We did the abandoned storylines this year. Starting next year, abandoned characters, Pete, to complete the trilogy.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good. I'm excited for that one.
Exciting to talk about. I want to thank you guys for coming on as always. Pete, people follow on social media. How can I do that?
At Concy29 on Twitter, CONSY29, AP Tower 308 posted this background on Reddit. Make sure you check them out.
Nick, one more time. People follow on social media. How can I do that?
Follow at Sky Guys Podcast all over social media, and you can email the pod at skyguyspod@gmail.com.
Yep, you can also follow me on social media at mphillips331. It's MPHILIPS 331. As you go around the Just and the Suffering podcast, you're also looking back at the year 2025. The great Christopher Russo stopped by to look at some of the highlights of the year. And one of the clips we featured today in this episode made an appearance over there. So if you want to listen to see where we popped up, you can check that out.
Oh, very cool.
All right, so that's coming up there. We'll be back next week. Abandoned Star Wars characters. Kick off 2026 in style. Happy New Year, everybody. Until then, may the Force be with you.